Good afternoon and welcome back to Blue Steel. We're going to be talking today about the modern world and the invasion of artificial intelligence into business and its impacts on professional behavior in business these days. I have been working in the fields of machine learning and artificial intelligence since before they had a term for it, building pattern recognition devices and so forth. The changes, particularly in the past 3 to 5 years, have been absolutely astonishing, making all the difference in the world. We had rule-based systems, we had example-based systems that didn't generalize, we had all sorts of things like that 25 years ago, but nothing like what is available today. And we're using the modern stuff in my companies for handwriting recognition, for machine recognition, for contact interpretation, for things that have been recognized, for many other things as well. And we're using it sort of as a second nature. It seems it's obvious to put it in there. Well, it wasn't obvious when we started doing this 25, 30 years ago, but it's obvious now. And that's, I think, shows, even in a small company like mine, how important artificial intelligence has become. Nothing stays fixed forever. So the current generation of them is the first, in my opinion, the first generation of generally available tools that are usable across the board. But they still aren't, for example, general AI. We're still a long way from, I can talk with an AI on all subjects and it'll fool me as to whether or not it's a human being. So I think there will continue to be evolution, but I think for specific tasks, like, for example, scheduling, like, for example, outlining a document, like writing a business plan, like preparing something for a presentation, all of those things, they are right on the money as far as the ability, and they are changing business very quickly. I think people should be interested in it, but people are interested in it sometimes for the wrong reasons. A lot of people are interested in it because I think it's going to take their jobs. And this has never been the case historically, that we've seen increases in unemployment because of technological advances, and then we're not going to see that now. We'll just see people moving from one job to another. As far as interest, they of course should be interested, because while they're not going to be developing those tools, most of them, they're going to be using those tools. And of course they will need to know how to do that, just as they had to learn how to type 2 generations ago. I think anyone who is in an industry that is affected at all by high-tech, and not just high-tech industries, the legal industries, for example, would be that way, the publication industries, all of those things are impacted by AI. And I think the people in those industries, no matter what they do, need to have a passing familiarity with the whatever is current in AI. When I first used ChatGPT, and this was a long time ago when it was new, it was clear it was moving in an important direction, and it was also clear it had not gotten there. Since then, it has largely gotten there. I mean, in those days, it would make things up. It would lie to you. It would try to seem authoritative when it wasn't at all. Now, most of those problems, at least to the level I can perceive of them, are fixed. And I think that's a tremendous show of the amount of advancement in 3 or 4 years. I think that ChatGPT and its relatives are not yet quite far enough along. I think we have to get, if not directly to general AI, I think we have to get pretty close to general AI to do that, because we are used to dealing with human beings. And the more the AI can act as though it were a human being, the closer it can get to passing the Turing test. Generally, it can already pass it in specific fields, but the faster it can get there, the faster people will adopt it across the board. For a lot of entrepreneurs, it's in development. It's in making AI better, because we are in, and we're going to continue to be for the next conceivable few years, in a fierce competition to make artificial intelligence more human and more specialized. So both more human and more limited to a specific field, and the best it can possibly be in that field. So I think there's a lot of entrepreneurial need for development of companies that develop the technology. Now, let's talk about using the technology. Any place where there's drudge work in developing something, putting together a business plan, when you know the facts in the business plan, but you just have to write the bloody thing, putting together a profit and loss statement, writing a business letter, all of those things can be done today with ChatGPT. You have to check it. You have to make sure it's right, it's not doing something silly. But the odds of it doing something silly have gone way down and are continuing to fall very quickly. So its ability to be used for specific tasks across almost all industries is at the workable level now. It's not at the perfect level, but it's at the workable level now. We're not at the point where people will think that the artificial intelligence that I'm talking to is just a member of the team. We're not there yet. We will be there within 5 years, if not sooner. ChatGPT and any AI, just like any human being, is no better than what it's trained with. What it learns about the world, it generalizes, it applies. But if what it's learned about the world is wrong or biased, there's a severe problem there. And we have gone through, in my opinion, a period of time in which let's just say the censorship regime has been so strong that some of our artificial intelligences have been mistrained intentionally, and we need to get away from that. One of the things that has made artificial intelligence so much better is, let's call it competitive algorithms. Algorithms that fight each other to get the best results. In determining what the truth is, what the real world is like, I think that there's a lot more need for that sort of thing to go on. So maybe you wind up using several artificial intelligences in competition with each other in order to produce a better result.
So why are most business owners not adopting ChatGPT? I mean, they see its capability, they see that they can benefit so much off of it, but a lot of corporate companies are actually punishing their employees for using it instead of encouraging them.
I can remember when Wikipedia first came out, school districts banned the use of Wikipedia as a research tool, which I thought at the time was stupid, and I still think it was stupid. You have to take into account the fact that it's not your standard, it's not the Encyclopedia Britannica, but it still was a useful research tool. The same thing is true with artificial intelligence, but understand that in a lot of industries, with the exception of the high-tech ones, with a lot of industries, the people at the top are Stone Age. Trying to get a lawyer to put in a modern billing system, you'd think they would want to do that. They are absolutely resistant to doing that sort of thing. They still want a secretary to type up letters, and you're sort of going, why? Those of us who've been in high tech say this is ridiculous, and it's going to be eaten away at, but it's going to take a while. So I think it's the natural tendency to avoid new technology in a field where it's been successful to not have it. I want to share with you something that I've been working on for a long time that is very important to me, and that is a Discord channel for business. On it, there will be a lot of free information, but also access to me. So you can have the ability to ask me questions, and I can respond to your particular problems and difficulties, and also help you get started. I'm really looking forward to being able to interact with you individually on there. I look forward to seeing everybody on there, and I will be waiting for you. Now, let's get back to our video. No one should rely strictly on ChatGPT, but you're asking a false question. It's possible to do the research and use ChatGPT in the process of doing it. And I think that is what I think they should use it as a tool where it's appropriate as a tool, and use other things where other things are important. But the important thing to keep in mind is it is a tool. You have a task you're trying to accomplish, you have a goal you're trying to reach, you can use many different ways of getting there. ChatGPT and its cousins are one of those ways. Thank you all for tuning in. We ask that you subscribe, and turn on notifications.